Hello, Howie Mandel.
Hi, Joe Rogan.
Good to see you, my friend.
I know.
Very good to see you.
I know. And amazing to see you. Before you start anything, I've got to tell you how excited are you. Did we start?
No, yeah, we're starting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to tell you how excited I am to see you. I am the biggest fan. If there's one thing that I'm a fan of, it's innovation. And I think that you have become the comedy innovator, and I'm blowing smoke up your ass right at the beginning of this. And I got to say what I've seen from the outside. You know, in 1978, I came down to the Comedy Store, and I got up on a lark. Mike Binder got me up there on a lark. I wasn't not pursuing it. I had gone on at Yuck Yucks in Toronto, and I fell in love with this. Mitsy gave me my biggest break. And there was a guy by the name of George Foster who was in the audience that night that said, "Hey, do you want to do TV?" And I said, "Yeah." And he hired me to do Make Me Laugh, which I did with Binder and a bunch of other people. And with no intent of making this a career. You know, I didn't pursue comedy. I knew nothing about comedy. I was a fan of comedy. I watched comedy, stand up. Even when I went to Yuck Yucks, I had never, you know, I don't know. Let me get back to you, and then I'll talk about me. But the thing is that I'm aware of the history of comedy, and when I was a kid, it was in New York. Everybody went to New York. That's where Lenny Bruce was working. You just showed me a picture of Lenny Bruce. And then when Carson made his way out to California, there was a shift where everybody had to come to California, you know, and you had to get on at the Comedy Store or maybe the Improv with the intent of maybe, if you were lucky, getting a spot on the Tonight Show, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, how old are you?
55.
55, you're a kid.
How old are you?
I'll be 68 this year.
You look fucking great.
Thank you.
Maybe all this knuckle touching is the way to go.
I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't know that But anyway, the point is that there was only one place to go and make it in comedy, and that was California. And that was, you needed a spot at the Comedy Store. And anybody who was anybody either got a spot at the Improv or the Comedy Store. And then even if somebody didn't know you and they came up to you and they said, "Are you a comic?" And oh, what do you do? You'd say, "I'm a stand-up comic." They go, "Were you ever on Johnny?" And if you weren't on Johnny, then they kind of dismissed you. Wow. But that was the truth.
Yeah, I remember those
I
days.
believe now, and this is the smoke that I'm blowing up your ass, there is a shift. You don't have to go to California anymore. You don't have to be in New York. You don't have to be anywhere. But you got to be in Austin. You got to come to Texas, or you got to be part of whatever it is, this movement that you have moved out here. And if you look at the people that are getting huge clicks online for, you know, their specials, Ari Shaffir and Shane Gillis and all these other guys, what do they have in common? They came and they touched you, you know, and I think that is where comedy's going. And these people with podcasts are now selling huge amounts of tickets without going on one. They don't have a Tonight Show to go to. They don't have a club to hit. And now you opened up the Mothership, which is, I think, properly named, because I believe that this is, if there is a geographical epicenter for comedy, it is here, you know, now. And I think you did that. I've never met somebody that, you know, Mitsy was the last person that kind of, Mitsy Shore I'm talking about, but accidentally did it, you know, because that was just something she won in a divorce, and so, but, you know,
she was the perfect person to have it, you know,
right? But she didn't know that.
Yeah, but she had the best sensibility for comedy, and she was so ruthless. She mentored me. She helped me in so many ways.
Right. What she gave me, we have a lot in common in that she gave me my break.
That's
but
her.
Yeah, no, I know, I recognize her.
Yeah,
I saw her. I knew her.
Taylor Bose, pretty dope, right?
It is.
Great painting.
It is a great painting. But the thing about Mitsy, if you don't know the beginnings of that, you know, it was Sammy Shore's club. It was her husband's club, who was the opening act for Elvis Presley.
Right, which is hilarious that she took it in a divorce and she's not a comic.
Well, because you take shit. It's like you take you take custody of a child and you're not a parent.
Sugar Shane Mosley, the boxer, his ex-wife took one of his championship belts.
But it looks nice with certain tops.
Do you know how goddamn crazy that story is?
No.
That guy went to war with his hands. He was throwing knuckles at another skilled man and won a world title. He got this beautiful belt strapped. The whole crowd cheers, and she's like, "No, it's mine." And she just took it.
So Sammy Shore was telling jokes for audiences that weren't his. They were Elvis's.
Right.
And he opened up a building for his friends to work out. And Mitsy went, no, it's mine. And then he told everybody that was in the business not to work there. Right? So she got all these kids, all us kids would show up and work because we wanted stage time. And that's how people started blasting off. You know, Jimmy J.J. Walker and what's his name? Who did Not My Job, Man? Freddie Prinze. Yeah. You know, and that became and that's why when you started seeing Carson out in L.A., he'd go, we saw this young kid last night at the Comedy Store, and that's what made it big. Yeah. And I think by the same token, you're the new Mitsy with less hair, where you keep touching these people like that's how I hear. Personally, and I think a lot of other people hear about the Brian Callens and their stand-up and their Ari and Shane and Bert and all these other guys that are arena. They're playing fucking arenas and theaters now. Yeah. There was a select few when I was young. You know, I was talking to you outside. I used to go. What year did you start at the Comedy Store? I remember seeing you.
I started at the Comedy Store in 94.
94. And you got news radio out of there, right?
I was already on news radio.
When you started doing
Yeah.